In sustainable agriculture, we also call it diversified integrated farming system because one of the main pillars of sustainable agriculture is increasing diversity, crop diversity. Over period of time, we have made only few varieties and monocropping the order of the day. But as a result, the problem of fertility and problem of pest happens. And also the yield slowly goes down because the soil fertility is affected. So small farmers, also middle farmers, but small farmers especially, should try to go back to traditional system but improve that in according to scientific principles. When we apply the principle of diversity to home garden to make it nutritionally more rich, to make it sure that we get all the nutrients necessary for human body health, healthy life. We look at the diversity principle in applied way. The diversity is partly by improving the crop mixing, and if it is shown in line rather than mixing all seeds, it is called intercropping, line intercropping. Sometimes it is called also companion cropping, meaning what kind of crop grows well with each other. The second principle is trying to look at crop rotations. Which crop follows which crop follows which crop. And sometimes we try relays. We try to not plow and make the soil lose the residual moisture. But when one crop is almost 80% finished, that is the time we introduce the second crop so that it can continue and sometimes use the support of the previous crop to grow. So these three principles of intercropping, mixed intercropping, crop rotation and crop relay, they lead to crop diversity. For example, in a small home garden, if we apply the principle of the mixing or intercropping, suppose I have a 5 feet wide bed here, I will in the first line put about 3 tomatoes or brinjals, and in the second 2 in the middle, and then again 3, again 2. In this way we plant some of the larger plants like brinjal or eggplant or tomato or chili, but it is a erect plant. In between the area, in between where there is 3 and there is 2, so here there will be 2 beans and there will be 3 beans. So each line will have 5 plants, and that we will complete the whole bed like that. So we mix a bean crop, maybe French bean, and because it grows in the winter, so and we grow a rabi crop like post-monsoon crop like brinjal or tomato, and to cover up the soil I plant maybe dhania, coriander. So it means coriander also will cover the soil and grow in the shade, and also it has a strong smell which deter many of the pests of the main crop. So by doing like this, we get more yield from the same field, and also we do companion crop. So this is one example. As far as rotation is involved, the principle is that wherever we possible, we follow a leafy vegetable or a fruit vegetable which demands more nutrient from the soil, we follow that with a bean. So, for example, in a dry area like this, in summer, if I grow amaranth, leaf amaranth, because many kind of amaranth is available and it tolerates drought. So with some irrigation, I will grow amaranth, and in the rainy season, I will follow that, for example, with cluster bean, guar. And in the winter season, I can grow some spice like methi. Methi is a spice but also a legume. So it will help to maintain the year-round, produce something and maintain the soil fertility. This is the basic idea of rotation. If we take the example of relay and apply that principle to home garden. So for example, we grow in the summer, we are growing some erect crop, maybe lady's finger. When lady's finger is almost finished, around that time as a relay crop, in between the lady's finger, we put seeds of pole beans. So the pole bean is climbing on the lady's finger plant. And when both of this is finished, most of the crop residue is harvested and fed to the animals, and same time we grow maybe again tomato or chili in the field. So it is already, we are leaving some of the things, mulch, and so in between we just create space and plant the seedling, and we don't have to bother about the rest of the space. So these are examples of how we apply the principle of intercropping, of rotation, and of crop relays. If we go to a semi-irrigated small farm for market, which is different from home garden, because home garden we choose the plant mainly according to nutritional quality rather than market price. But suppose I had a 200 square meter or some land, and with some irrigation possible, I am growing some vegetables for selling in the market. So in summer season there may not be enough water to grow anything, or we will see. But rainy season, for example, we can grow makka, the maize or corn, and post monsoon season we can, in the time itself, we can intercrop the maize with some kind of bushweed, and later on in the winter season we can use any kind of climbing bean, or we can use a small bitter gourd climbing to use the maize as a maize plant as a support. If it was a vegetable system that I was growing only vegetables for selling in the market, so I can grow cowpea during summer, which is followed because cowpea tolerates the heat and little bit dryness. And then I followed it with a lady's finger during the summer and late summer and rainy season. The lady's finger can remain in the field, and then in the winter season, post monsoon season, I can grow brinjal or chili or tomato along with the kind of companion crop of coriander, as we were saying. So in this way, year round we can do. So these are two ecosystems where we apply the principle of diversification. Third kind of ecosystem can be non-irrigated dryland ecosystem. So where it is only rain-fed. So in rain-fed agriculture, it is not possible to plow after one crop is finished because there is not enough moisture, and if we try to plow again in the early winter, we can lose much moisture. So the mixed cropping, intercropping system that we follow is, for example, if we have 1 bigha or whatever 300-400 square meter land, we plow it one time before the rains start, and then itself we grow 4-5 lines of any grain, for example sorghum, for example maize, for example pulse millet. So we grow some tall plants, 5 lines, and then we take some legume which is preferably little shorter than the tall plant. For example, we are using pigeon pea or can be guar also. Then, so 3 lines of guar, and then we go for 3 lines of any oil seed, for example sesame or Niger. These are oil seeds which tolerate dry situation, so we grow them. So we have, according to height, we have big, then little small, then little small. So we slowly come down, and then we have black gram or cowpea or some other kind of crop, and then we go opposite way. We have again the oil seed, so we have grains, we have legume, we have oil seed, we have again some vegetable or legume, and then again we are growing up. So one time we plant, we do the mirror image, opposite in the, and we try to see that the shade of the plant, tall plant, is not falling on the shorter plant. And this can be done by planting these crops along the east-west axis, sunrise-sunset axis. These kind of systems, we try to mix crops which have different root depth and different maturity period. So we have plants like pigeon pea which matures in 6-7 months. We have grains which mature in 3-4 months. We have cowpea which mature in 2-3 months. So same time we plant only one time, but we harvest 4 or 5 times. This is the principle which is followed in rain-fed agriculture. In the lowland rice system, naturally there is lot of diversity. Lot of weeds which grow with rice originally, traditionally, they are edible. So there are more than 25-30 kind of weeds. We can choose among them which one we want to keep and which one we... So these are, because rice system, lowland paddy system is a waterlogged system. One of the crops which we can grow on the bunds but spread in the rice is kolmi shak, that we call the kolmi shak, or Hindi kadamoa, or botanical name is Ipomia aquatica. So we can grow that, and in between the rice it can spread on the water from the bunds. On the bunds, depending on the situation, we can plant some other crop like pigeon pea or sometime other kind of grams which we can grow on the bunds depending on how much is the risk of total inundation. We can do relay cropping with rice, that when rice is finished, we 1 month before harvest, normally we allow the water to go out. So around that time, when we drain the rice field and allow it to ripen, allow the grains to ripen, 1 week after letting the water out, we can spread seeds of, for example, linseed, tisi, some kind of dal like kulti, some kind of oil seed like mustard. We can spread those seeds without plowing, and we allow them to grow. And later on, when we harvest, some of the plants we get trampled on, but it does not die. It helps them actually to grow. So we don't plow again. This is possible in a rice field where the soil is good and holds moisture, and we call it often in technical language residual moisture crop. So whatever moisture is remaining on the field, if we can have deep-rooted plants growing on the rice field, they can use those moisture. So in summer, usually we grow only just before rice, we grow a green manure crop like maybe Crotalaria or like maybe Sesbania aculeata or something like that. That grows only for 1 month, 6 weeks, and then we incorporate that in the soil to increase the organic matter content. And then we plant the rice, and on the bund, as we said, we can plant pigeon pea or some other kind of gram, and in between we allow the karimba to grow. And after rice, as a relay crop, we grow some oil seeds and legumes. This was the traditional system, and this can be even done today with a little bit proper spacing. Also, if there is a rice field on the perimeter, along the perimeter where we make bunds, just in between bund and rice, we can create a 50 centimeter wide drain all along. And we can grow some kind of taros which like that muddy kind of situation, which some varieties of taro can grow in dry land, and some other varieties of taro which can grow in wetland. And the leaves as well as sometimes the roots, they are edible. So that also increase income and diversity in a rice field. So these are different examples of using the principle of diversity, crop diversity, by intercropping, by crop mixing, by crop rotation, and by crop relay.